And begin. Hello, beautiful people of the world. My name is Dalton, Coach Rain State Boxing, welcome to our podcast, To the Bell. I'm here with my lifelong friend, Gustavo. What it do, son?
What about it?
So we got a couple of topics going on. We got some stuff on the MMA world, stuff on the YouTube world, stuff on the boxing world. So we got like Francis Ngannou, KSI, with his last fight. We'll recap on that. Some boxing up at Rolly. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence again. And then, of course, the Devin Haney Lomachenko big controversial fight that happened Saturday, right? So we'll go right into it. Francis Ngannou left the UFC. Basically, rundown is that, he didn't have a lot of money coming in, right? UFC wasn't paying what they should. So he's looking to go to boxing. So I did read that he's wanting to do a tune-up fight this year, and then he plans on having a big fight with either Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, or Deontay Wilder. But, of course, you have the one-night mega fight going down in December, so that fight's not going to take place anytime this year because of that. But it will end up maybe, nothing's confirmed yet, but it's all in the works, about it may possibly happening next year. He's been talking to Floyd Mayweather's gym, like promotion, TNT, the Money Team promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Maybe he's, slowly rising to the top, training there, busting his ass, but only time will tell. So have you heard anything about that or no?
Yeah, I heard that because we talked about it a couple episodes ago when we had Caleb in here, and he was telling me about it, or telling us about it because my biggest thing is like why and they ain't paying them.
Facts.
So now why you want to go to another combat sport? Not the same thing, but it's whatever boxing or whatever. The industry just paying more, and they should just
they wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
I guess I could say that going on like Francis, like, well, if the UFC is not going to pay me what I'm worth, then I'll go find.
But I don't blame him for doing that though.
Facts.
Just I'm over there, getting my butt kicked, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go over there somewhere I can make some money.
Well, I'm getting my butt kicked.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm gonna go where the money's at.
Francis is like one of the hardest hitters in the UFC, which is the UFC, right? It's a whole nother organization within boxing. Like you can hit as hard as you say you can hit, but if you can't touch the guy in front of you, it don't matter. Like if he tries to fight Tyson Fury, Tyson's not gonna sit there and bang with him. He's gonna dance around, right? So I'm looking to see who he plans on fighting in boxing if he does want AJ, Tyson, or Wilder. Because each one has their own styles.
All of them are pretty tough, right?
Yeah, they're all. I think he would have a really good bet with either Anthony Joshua or Wilder. Tyson Fury is going to put on a show. I think you make the most money with Tyson Fury, but you're not even close to beating him. Tyson Fury's going to dance around the ring and just make it look like a complete amateur, but only time will tell. So the next thing that happened, which I think KSI fought last weekend or the weekend before, and I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see the knockout?
No.
He goes to throw a right hook and he misses and elbows the guy, knocks him out. It was an elbow. Caught the guy with an elbow and he knocks out. So I don't know if anybody ever seen that or watched that fight, but there was a big thing on that because it looks like an accident, but people were saying it looked intentional because he misses here and he turns and throws an elbow. Yeah, and knocks the dude out. And they still gave him the win for it. Like they gave him the win. Boxing would have been like, no, we're not going to count that.
So was that a boxing?
It was boxing. It wasn't
MMA.
No, but I don't think KSI got to know him. He's like, no, I'm winning at all costs if I got to drop an elbow on dude. But, I don't think it was intentional. It went by like in a flash, and they talked about it. Like, they were like, did you know you elbowed him? And he was like, well, it went in a blur. I didn't really see it. Like, I knew I hit him, but I didn't think it didn't look like he did it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
But, everybody's talking about that pretty big. Like, it looked like he threw an elbow intentional,
If he did, he didn't. Regardless, you're going to have two different sides.
Facts. And they gave him the win regardless.
So,
they gave him the win.
But I think that's wrong, though. I think they shouldn't give him the win.
Yeah, they could have been like, well, we're not going to count that. We'll just make it whatever. Y'all fight again.
Or whatever, fight again, yeah.
If you watch the video, KSI was going to knock him out regardless. Like, I think that's why they might have given him the win anyway. Like, he was gonna win no matter what. But still, it don't look good.
When he hit him with the elbow, did he knock him out?
Yeah. It was on the elbow. On the elbow, he knocked him out.
He knocked him out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have given him. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It's a very big tough one. I'm just like, they gave him the win, but I've seen stuff every now and then, but I haven't seen anything like big.
Do you think he just got tired? Like, man, I can't knock him down. I can't. He won't give up, man.
It looked like he went to hit him, and the guy missed. And it's like in this position, it looked like he kind of turned his elbow in. It's what it looks like. As he speeded up, it's like he went he missed and then turned his elbow in. Is what it looked like. But
it sounds to me like he don't need to be boxing. It sounds to me like he needs to be in the UFC.
Yeah, he needs to be doing the MMA stuff. I don't know. He haven't really talked a whole lot about it. Everybody's been talking about it, but he hasn't really said much about it. And then Broly had a fight. I can't pronounce his name. Barroso, Barroso.
Barros.
He fought him this not this weekend, but the weekend before last, and he fought him, and the guy's 40 years old.
Dang.
And the way like the highlights look, like Rolly was kind of getting that work. Like he wasn't doing good in that. And then like the fight went on.
You ever
Rolly,
heard of him? You ever heard of him? Barros?
I haven't heard anything about the guy. At first, I thought it was Barrios, which is a guy that Gervonta fought, and I thought it was them two fighting each other. Gervonta beat both of them, so I was like, well, maybe they are fighting each other. But whole nother guy. The dude, 40 years old, was beating up Rolly, and then the ref ended up stopping the fight. He ended up like if you watch it, like Rolly's about to get him, like it's going back and forth, and Rolly starts to press, and then the ref is like watching it and then calls the fight. It was like an early stoppage because everybody like he was still in the fight technically, And then, but it's what Rolly talks about before that fight and after that fight. He keeps talking about wanting to fight Ryan Garcia. And when we mentioned that the last podcast about him retiring at 26 and that, maybe he wants those big paydays before he retires. But Rolly's been like really talking about it. And then he's talking about it more now after he just beat him. Like, why don't me and Garcia fight? And what usually happens in any combat sport is if I call you out and you don't say anything about it, you're thinking about it. If I call you out and that fight's never going to happen, you're going to say that. So if you look at the Tyson Fury and John Jones stuff going on, I don't know if you heard anything about it or not, but there's a big debate right now about them fighting. But the thing is, it's never going to happen. That's why he clapped back so fast. Like John Jones is like, I could beat Tyson Fury in a street fight. Duh. And Tyson Fury's like, you don't know, you're da-da-da-da. Come to the ring if you want to find out.
Is that where it was a Joe Rogan?
Yeah, it's a Joe Rogan on his podcast, right? Yeah. But they clap back if the fight's not going to happen. Usually if they're like quiet, then stuff's in the works. Then they're going to set it. So I wonder if that fight might be over the horizon. Garcia and Rolly.
That'd be a good one, I think.
I think it would.
Be a good one.
Even if it's not a good boxing match, the build up to it would be worth watching because they both love to just get back and forth.
Yep.
And and they sparred before. I don't know if we talked to you can watch on YouTube. Rolly versus Ryan Garcia sparring match. You can watch the highlights and back and forth. So it would be entertaining just to see how they handle it. Like we've done sport before, now we're really running back.
Fighting, yeah.
So I'd like to see. I think it'd be cool to see how it'd play out. Up next, which is what I was talking about earlier, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. I'm gonna keep talking about this until this fight. Like it's getting closer and closer. I'm gonna keep going back and touching this subject because I want to see this fight so bad, dude. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. Anyway, talks are quote unquote aiming for July 22nd at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, is what they're saying. But Terence was at the fight Saturday with Devin and Loma, and somebody walked up to him and said, "Hey, July 22nd, are you excited?" And he goes, "Well, what's July 22nd?"
Dang, again?
But I know how he is.
Again?
I know how he is, though.
His friend, he don't got the friend, the reporter. He's about to get us. He's not get so high, be like, June, whatever, July, whatever. Nah, I don't know.
Fact.
He's going to comment. He's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Which is why I'm saying it now, right? Which is what he says, July 22nd, right? So I'm like, I know how he is. Like, nothing's confirmed until they say it, And I've said it before in the previous podcast. Unless one of them posts on their Facebook or their Instagram or whatever, me and Terence Crawford are fighting.
Look forward.
That's what it is. But right now, rumor is that's what they're shooting for is July 22nd. But nothing's in concrete, right? That's what they're shooting for.
Man, so what's the hold up? I mean, like.
Back and forth negotiations. You want 50, I want 60%. You want 70, I want 80%. It's just
because I heard
the fighters are like whatever, but you have the teams behind it, right? If you're my manager and you're like, nah, Dalton needs more money than that, then it's not even the fighters at that point. It's just the teams arguing back and forth. Because when they meet up, it's not just the fighters meeting up. It's like the coaches, it's the managers, it's the promoters, who's getting what, how much is getting who. Because the more money you get, the more money I get. So it's a bunch of back and forth, and it's been years for this fight.
I know you're being hype about it.
I want to do it.
Keep on hype.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep.
I'm getting to the point where like I want to watch it now. Like
quit talking about it.
Just watch it.
Well, see, I mean, it's gonna be a huge fight, man. Like they're both undefeated. It's like another big. And what really helps is like the fight was starting to die down, and then the Ryan and Gervonta fight happened, and now it's starting to get relit. Now it's starting to now they're starting to look. We can make that kind of money, dude. They make bank that last fight. So Errol and Terence are like, dude, I'm gonna call you. Why don't we do that? Let's stop. Let's make that big check. They're no longer like these young up and coming prospects. These are fighters in their primes and starting to get over the hill, right? They need to make that big check while it's still relevant. Because everybody will talk when that fight is confirmed. Everybody will be talking about that fight just because it is like it's a big fight, man. It's
you said it's been building up since what 2000 and
like 17, dude. Like, if not sooner than that, man. It's been just constantly built up. What's really cool, and I think is that who's going to be the co-main event. And it's already talked about. Is it Cruz will be the co-main?
Who's gonna fight though?
They already have the name picked out. I can't pronounce the name, but it's nobody I know. But is it Cruz? His dad actually came out and said it. His dad said it's 80% done, and that Is it Cruz will be the co-main event for that fight. And I know we've been talking about it. Like, you be sending me videos of him training, and I'm like, sure, we should fight. Because Is it Cruz, they call him the Pitbull because he just, like, comes forward. He's fought Gervonta, and the whole time he's coming forward.
Yeah.
And that fight with the distance. And everybody's like, they took the rematch. The rematch didn't happen. And I've told him the only time it happened is if Is it Cruz can climb back up and get a belt.
Yeah.
But at that weight class, Devin Haney has him. So the only thing he's going to do is if he beats Devin, which you have to climb the rankings up and all that
I just feel like they should give what the people want.
Absolutely.
Because
if they did that, boxing would be like where UFC's at. UFC, so here's no matter if you win, if you lose, or if it's a draw in the UFC, the fans want to see you fight you, right? They want to see these fights. In boxing, it's like they're afraid to take that L.
Yeah.
So I always like Caleb Plant, right? I love Caleb Plant. I love what he's about, his philosophy, his training, his mental, all that. I love it. I love that he's willing to fight anybody, win, lose, or draw. Guess what? He's still gonna fight again. Like that's why he's like. People talk about it, right? Like his stocks. They're like, you notice how he loses and his stocks still keep going up? People love to see him fight. Like you're in a combative sport where they want to see you fight. So if these fighters see
that, I didn't know that about him.
Caleb,
what's up?
He lost to Benavidez, he lost to Canelo, which are both great fighters. I'm not taking nothing away from them. But since that, people see that, like, man, this guy ain't afraid to fight nobody. Like, he's not afraid to get in there. He's not afraid to put his legacy on the line.
Yes.
So people are like, oh, I'm going to pay and support that guy. That guy's doing what we want to see. So a lot of fighters are now starting to turn that leaf, and they're like, man, maybe we need to do that. Dude, like it comes down, they don't really care. Like, I don't know, I've talked to you about it. When a guy loses that they're no longer relevant. If they can keep fighting, you're still going to stay relevant. Win, lose, or draw. It's like Floyd. Floyd came along and made that if you lose, you're that's it.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That's not the case.
Because it's like when Manny wanted to fight him, he kept on holding it. That
was 5 years in the making.
I was like,
and if we're getting close to like the Terence Crawford Errol fight being like that, like 5 years in the making, we keep on pushing it back.
I feel like we pay them whatever, we watch pay-per-views or whatever, what people want, that's what we should get.
So here's the thing, with the actual fights going on, with the Terence Crawford fight, Errol Spence, Gervonta Davis fight, people will pay, but they want to see the fights they want to see. Just because I'm a big fan of Gervonta Davis, doesn't mean I'm going to pay every fight that he watches. But if he fights somebody that is good, that is irrelevant, people will pay to see that. Same thing, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. If that fight comes down, they could make that same pay-per-view sales that Gervonta
can they force him to fight?
I mean, technically, they pay him. They can't make him do it. But what's a little bit different, like when you have a belt, like they're gonna
you have to fight.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a belt,
then it's
like
hearsay,
like
right?
Cruz and Devonta. I want to see that again. I want them to run that up again.
Yeah,
but now, you don't see it.
But yeah, right now nobody has a belt. Like at 135, Devin has all the belts. So that fight, like they could fight. It don't have to be done. But if Gervonta had the belt and Cruz starts to climb that ranking for like WC will have him where he has to fight him. Ooh. Then that fight would go down.
Dang.
Like we talked about the Caleb Plant and Benavidez. Whoever wins is fighting Canelo. It's mandatory because it was for that certain belt. It automatically puts them in there that okay, they are gonna fight.
Boxing is like college basketball, like college. You know what I'm saying? It's just
you gotta constantly make your way around, maneuver up and down, left and right, move your pieces so where you can finally get that.
Has boxing ever been like a Cinderella story? Like have you watched the NCAA where like the team that you never heard make it to the championship?
That was Andrew Ruiz.
That was him.
Nobody ever heard of him. That was a Cinderella story. Nobody knew who he was, dude. And you can watch his stuff before he fought AJ. He wasn't verified, didn't have all these subscribers or these followers and all that good stuff. He fights AJ, wins, and it's like overnight. He was an overnight success.
Yes.
Ever since then, been riding. Also pretty neat. Some woman hacked his Twitter and started posting out pictures and videos of him with like big bags of marijuana, saying that he loves doing cocaine before fights. Like this girl went off, talking about him getting involved in prostitution, all this stuff, dude. He made a video, it was like, oh, it's all, I don't know who she is, she's mad, I'm moving on, blah, 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 blah. But the girl posted videos of all that stuff. It's videos of Andy Ruiz holding big bags of weed. And he's like smiling, and it's a video of him. And I'm like,
and
maybe maybe some of it is far fetched, but some of it was also there.
but that ain't no cocaine and hookers, right?
No, it was
Okay,
just,
well,
it was
it's
weed.
okay. It's
So
okay.
I'm like wondering, I'm like, oh man, like we don't know. Like you can see the videos of like it's pretty funny. Like it's deleted, but you can still find it.
Yeah.
You deleted it, but you can still get on there and see where it all the stuff was going
Yeah.
off. I thought it was pretty neat. Benavidez, I don't know if it's this weekend or if it already took place, but Benavidez's team is going to send Canelo an offer here real soon about fighting him in September. They're trying to have Canelo fight Benavidez at super middleweight and then going to fight Bivol at light heavyweight, which is what I said a while back. I said it's easier for him to fight John Ryder at super middleweight, stay at that weight, fight Benavidez, and then go up in weight and fight Bivol. It'd be way easier on your body instead of going back and forth, back and forth. So if something's confirmed, I'll let you know, and I'll make sure that.
So what it's looking like is Benavidez then.
It's looking like Benavidez and Canelo in September is what they're hoping for, is what they're shooting for, is what they're shooting for, and then Bivol. So we'll see. I know Bivol or Canelo wanted Bivol in September, but if he's making more money with Benavidez, then that's the route they would take. But it comes down to what do you guys want to see? Would y'all rather see?
I kind of want to see.
I kind of want to see Benavidez. I do too.
Yes.
Because, like, we've already seen Bivol and Canelo.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I think it's going to be the same thing. I think Bivol's going to win.
Yeah.
Just because he's a natural light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Canelo's having to pack on muscle and this and that and making his body do more.
I want to see Canelo and Benavidez.
I do. I want to see that too.
Yeah.
A lot of fans are like, man, give Benavidez that shot. Like, you think Bivol, like, let Benavidez try to get that, you know?
Well, definitely. I agree with you on that.
But we'll see. I mean, I'm down to see both, but if you ask me, I'd rather see him fight Benavidez just because we haven't seen that fight. Yep. We haven't seen Canelo and him, but we've seen Bivol. So
who will you get? Like who you think will get it?
Canelo.
Canelo?
Yeah.
Really?
I do. But I'm not counting Benavidez out either.
No. Yeah.
I just know that Canelo's got more experience and he's fought guys like Benavidez. But I want to see how it play out because they both kind of have the same style. They hit hard and they come forward. So who wants it more is what it's going to come down to. Mm-hmm. And you know how Canelo is. Canelo's like, I'm the face of Mexico. I'm the face of boxing. Like before he fought Caleb and he won, talking about Benavidez, Canelo wouldn't fight Benavidez. He said, I fight for the Mexicans. I do. I'm not fighting him. Why would we fight each other? We're both Hispanic. He's like, I'll fight for the Mexicans. I'm not going to fight him. But now he has to.
He has to.
So I feel like Canelo's gonna be like, well, I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm the Hispanic. I'll fight for my people. Like I'm gonna beat you in front of them. Watch. Like you wanted it. I'm gonna give it to you. That's what I think. I think Canelo will beat him and be like, I told you, because he fought Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto was, I want to say he was definitely mixed with something. He wasn't full Hispanic.
He's Puerto Rican.
But he fought him and was like,
he's Puerto Rican.
I'm the Mexican warrior. Yeah. And then he fights Chavez. He fights Chavez Jr.
Oh, whoop the!
He beats the shot out of him. Julio Chavez's son. He loves Julio. Julio Chavez is a badass.
Yes.
He fights his son and dog walks
him.
He's
a disgrace.
And he said it again. He's like, I'm the Mexican warrior. So anybody that has that Hispanic heritage, when they come and fight him, he's like, no. Now I'm really gonna beat you because you think you're the Mexican warrior. Watch. So I think it's gonna be.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and it's gonna be. I feel like you're gonna see a lot of Hispanics like. Root for
and more likely,
Canelo. I feel like more is going to be Canelo because he's been in the game a lot longer.
I think it's going to be like back when Julio and Oscar. When everybody divided, like the Mexicans.
I think it'll be the same way.
Like the Mexicans, like the true Mexicans. I'm not saying true Mexicans, but like the Mexicans over here, and then the Mexican Americans over here, which is stupid.
Okay. He's saying Mexican and then Mexican Americans.
Yeah,
like you're born in the U.S.
Which is stupid though, because at the end of the day, hell, both of y'all. At the end of the day, everybody look at you like Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
But, I'm excited.
Is the Mexican Americans for Oscar?
Yes, they was for Oscar. Yes.
Yeah.
With the Golden Boys.
I remember that.
And you know, like they were saying, like he said, well, when I go to Mexico, they don't want me over there. When I be over here, like we ain't good enough over there, and we ain't good enough over here. That's what most Mexican Americans say. Which I mean, I see it for both ways. I see it from the Mexicans. I'm Mexican. But I've been living all my life here, so I'm like, yeah, I feel y'all, but at the end of the day, it don't matter. Y'all, they still see you at the end of the day as Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like we all Hispanic.
Yeah. Like
Canelo sees it as like I was first.
I was first.
I'm the Mexican warrior.
Yes.
If you think you're gonna take that from me, then we going at it.
Yes,
That's how I see it. And I think I feel like Canelo's gonna put a bigger whooping on that boy because of that. Yes. He's like,
I gotta make a proof. I gotta make a point.
Yeah, these are my people.
This my people. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he's gonna try to.
It's gonna be a good one. I hope it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think he would bring in. I think a lot of money, dude. I think that would be the next big fight if it happens this year, which I hope it does.
I hope it does.
Had
it should be around September 16th, because usually it's big fights around September 16th. And I think they gotta make it. They gotta make it where it's gonna be divided. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's because
because in September 16th, well, a true Mexican, and then
I know the press conferences are gonna be Benavidez trying to get a rouse out of Canelo, but Canelo, like if you watch any of the fight, he can speak English and he can speak Spanish, but almost 9 times out of 10, he does his press conferences, post conferences, anything with fighting, he does it in Spanish.
Yep.
So I think he'll do it the whole time, just to be like, I am y'all's people.
Yep.
Like I am who I say I am.
Yep.
So I mean, I think it's
gonna
huge.
be a great one.
I think that'd be awesome.
Can't wait. I hope it happens.
Up next, the big fight that happened this past weekend: Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. A lot of people are saying it's a big controversial debate. I agree. Yes, I think the fight was close, but it was not a robbery. A robbery would be if Loma just absolutely dog walked Devin Haney, and then they're like Devin Haney won. But I watched the full fight. Devin Haney, I feel like he did enough in the first fight, in the first half of the round, or first half of the fight.
First 6, 7 rounds.
Yeah, 6, 7 rounds. I had Devin winning all of them. And then at the end, as Devin started kind of slowing down, Loma started closing the gap, picking up his combos, and started landing more punches. So, we'll see. Like the first round, they both landed 6 punches. Close fight. It's not a robbery, right? People are saying that. Like, people throw robbery around so much, like it's just casual. Like, it's a robbery. Like, no, it's a close fight. Like, I did a short on it, and I said I gave it to Devin, but I also could have seen it being a draw. Like, I try to see all point of views. But to say it's a robbery, no, dude, it's not a robbery. Like,
See, people like me would say it's a robbery. People like you would say no, because
it could have been a draw.
Because like people like me, we don't know the whole this and that, the fight, how the round goes or whatever. Just because you landed a good punch, but then you block all this and then you done this, you gave it to him, like, well, he landed a good punch, but really that's not how it is. But I feel you on that, and a lot
of people that watch boxing, or they don't really like watching boxing and studying boxing are two different categories, right? Yes. So a lot of fans will be like, well, since Loma won the last 3 rounds, Loma won. But it's like, no, boxing is 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So if Devin just does phenomenal for 7 rounds, he can take off the rest of the fight and still win, because he won most of the rounds. That's what it comes down to. So, Loma being the challenger and Devin Haney being the champion, Loma needed to beat that boy every round and show, like, it ain't a close fight. Yeah. I'm beating his ass. But he didn't. And that's why a lot of the judges were like, well, Devin won.
Yeah.
And you can say whatever you want, like, well, Loma's this, Devin's this, the judges are this, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But Devin's a champion, Loma's a challenger. He's gonna have to do not enough, more than enough. To really prove that he beat Devin.
You might as well just go ahead and knock him down.
Yeah. So as one of the guys texted me, and he was like, close fight, the judge is this, the judge is that. And I'm like, you know what you should do? Don't leave it to the judges.
Yes.
I'm like, if you really think that,
who does that? Dana tells them.
All of it, don't leave it to the judges.
Don't leave it to the judges.
Because a lot of judges, so you're all positioned in the ring differently. So I might see something different than what you saw. Yep. Right? I'm over here, you're over there.
You're over there. Yep.
So a lot of stuff plays into it, but for people to say a robbery, I'm like, man, that ain't it, dog. It's not a robbery. Like, it was a close fight, and like I said earlier, like, I like Loma. I've been a fan of Loma. Ever since he beat Teofimo Lopez, ever since he lost to Teofimo Lopez, my apologies, it's like he kind of went like this kind of thing in his career, like doing good. He's been doing like really good fights and then whatever, but it upsets him the most because this was his last chance in his eyes to be undisputed, which he was undisputed. Loma had all the belts. Teofimo came, took all the belts. George Kambosos beat Teo, took all the belts. Devin beat George Kambosos, took all the belts, and then beat him again and kept his belts. And then he fought Loma and whatever. But, Devin's a great boxer. He's a lot like Floyd. He knows how to when to fight, when to go forward, when to go backwards, when to box, when to brawl. He knows all that, At the end, you could see Loma was like, you could tell Devin's stamina was on a whole nother level, and Loma was basically hitting Devin like whenever. Basically at will. When he's like, well, I don't hit him, I'll hit him. Like whenever. But you got to be able to do that throughout the whole fight. Not just at the end. Majority of the fight, you have to do that. And
So is that why, like, say, like, if you find the champion, and like you say, you win, what you said, 6, 7 rounds or whatever, and then you win the rest of them, more than likely they gotta give it to the champion, right? Because you gotta show,
Yeah.
even
You
though,
got to be on your gas pedal like the
and
whole
you know
fight.
what? I used to think like what people think, oh, that's a robbery, who this, but really he's a champion, so you gotta show, you gotta outbeat the champion.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what
the
I'm saying?
champ. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta show like you're beating that boy
I ain't
like,
never-
significantly.
I ain't never looked at that because I always used to.
I mean, look at it like if Canelo's fighting anybody, the only way you're beating Canelo is if you really show you beat like
Yeah.
Canelo and Bivol. That was a landslide. You're like, damn, Bivol really put a hurting on Canelo. You can tell he did.
Yeah.
You got to do the same way with Devin and Loma. You got to really show, like, man, Devin didn't have a round. Like, I'm beating the hell out of him. But you didn't. Devin did just enough to remain champion. He didn't have to beat up Loma. He just had to show I'm better than Loma. Now I don't have to show by a lot, just enough to, like,
It's
yeah,
enough to get.
I
yeah.
won. I mean, like, it was a close fight. I mean, it was a hugely close fight. Rematch, I could see a rematch. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Devin talks about now struggling to make weight at 135. Devin's 24, been at 135 for a long time. He's talking about wanting to go up in weight. He's like, it's hard on my body to stay at that weight and cut that weight. I'm naturally a bigger guy than this, so it does take a lot of me to cut weight. But I will say this, what I thought was odd, as I'm watching the fight, Devin Haney lands a lot of body shots, which kind of amazed me because Loma's the shorter guy. You got to get down there to hit Loma in the body. It was pretty wild. And his like go-to punch was anytime Loma would come in, he would catch and shoot a right hook to the body. That was like his go-to punch. And he was landing a lot. On the other side, Loma kept landing that double left hand on him. Kept landing it. And the whole time I'm watching that fight, I'm like counting it. I'm like, damn, Loma landed it there. He landed it there. 5 times later, he landed it again. He keeps landing the same punch. You know who else lands a really good left hand? Gervonta Davis. I'm like, dude, you better, like, if he's hitting you like that, you done said a while back, before you fought Loma, I talked about it in the podcast, you said, I want the winner of Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. You said that. Dude, if you're getting hit by Loma's left hands, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you fight Gervonta.
It's an inevitable fight. That
Yeah.
fight will happen.
Yeah. If he stays at 135, he has to fight Gervonta. Gervonta done said, like, he wants a belt. Dude, you better watch your P's and your Q's, dot your I, cross your T's, because Gervonta's going to land that left hand. We done seen it with Ryan Garcia, and you've seen how he did it. So we're going to see. Right now, I got 3 names at 135 that I'm really looking at too. Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson. Those are the 3 main big dogs at 135 right now, and I'm ecstatic. I'm just hyped to see any of those fights take place. So I love all of them.
What you said? You better watch for the left hand because we ain't even see it. We ain't even see it. We ain't knocked it down.
Facts. So if you ask me, man, I like Devin. He's got to watch it, man. Like, dude.
Do you like Devin?
I love Devin.
Do you?
I've been watching Devin since I was like 15, 16.
Wow.
The ones that don't know, Devin used to have a YouTube channel called Real Devin Haney TV. It's videos back when he was like 15, like my age. I remember being like a kid at my house watching his YouTube channel, being like, I want to be like that one day. And he's like 16 years old, just gets his license, buys like a Hummer, buys all these like, he came up with Floyd. So this kid had money. Like, I've been watching him since way back. Like, he was like 15 fighting in Mexico, getting up wins. And so he turned pro, he was like 15, stacking up dubs. And maybe you couldn't fight in the States. But he can go out of States to Mexico and fight these fighters.
His story about that.
So I love it, right? Devin Haney used to be a bully, was an asshole in school, right? His dad said, you want to be a bully? We'll go to the boxing gym. Takes him to the boxing gym, puts him in one of the best boxers. Devin beats that guy. Beats the boxer. The coach is like, whoa, you might be pretty good. He's got a great story. I love Devin. I would love to see Devin stay king. Right now, Devin's done more than enough to amaze me. I'm proud of him, dude. Like, he don't know who I am, but like I've been supporting him since way back. So, I mean, huge props to Devin. I'm glad he won. I'm not mad. I'm happy he won. Been a fan since day one. But Shakur Stevenson ain't no joke. Gervonta Davis ain't no joke. So he's going to have to really prove to me and everybody else that he belongs to be big dog at 135, that he belongs to be undisputed. But here's the thing, 135 and 140, that's not a big difference. Eventually, you're going to have to fight all of them. Eventually you have to say, I am who I say I am. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with all of them. So I'd love to see all of it. Shakur, I've talked about him. Like a lot of people he has around him is Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward, Terence Crawford. Again, if you know boxing, those are 3 legends, right? Those aren't just 3 boxers. They're 3 legends. Andre Ward Super 6 tournament winner. Terence Crawford, we talk about him being like a podcast. Timothy Bradley, a former world champion, multiple division, multiple times, like Shakur, no joke either. So what I'm gonna be honest, because I'm not, I'm a big fan of Devin, but I could see Shakur beating Devin. I love Devin. I want to see Devin win, but as a boxing fan, I'm gonna be honest, I think Shakur could beat Devin. Gervonta Davis could also beat Devin, but I like Devin, so I'm gonna ride with Devin no matter what. But there's a high percentage Shakur could win, and Davis could win. Yeah, I'll be on the edge of my seat chewing my nails, because I want to know, I want Devin to win, but. Again,
who jumped in the ring after the fight?
Shakur Stevenson.
Who'd he call out?
Devin Haney. As he walked in, Devin walks by Shakur and he goes, "Still number one, still number one." And Shakur goes, "Not for long, not for long." And as he's talking smack to Devin, Devin leaves the ring and goes back to his locker room. And that's when Shakur gets the mic and he's like, "I want to see Devin Haney. I want to see Devin Haney. I want to fight him." Shakur Stevenson is mandatory. I did a short today. He is mandatory to fight at 135 for the belts. He's mandatory. So chances are he might get a shot at Devin before Gervonta does. Because he's mandatory. That fight is going to happen. Devin can take a tune-up fight and then fight Shakur, or he can go straight to Shakur Stevenson. Again, those are big fights. Same with Gervonta Davis. Those are big fights. But I think Shakur would come first. And then whoever that would win would fight Gervonta Davis. I think. In my opinion, I think it'd be Devin, Shakur. Whoever wins will be the winner, and then Gervonta Davis. But, dude, 135, oh, I love it, dude. That's such an amazing weight class, man. There's so much potential, so many styles. Even if they lose, I still love them. They're all good fighters, man. They're awesome. You can go in a room and be like, Gervonta Davis? Hell yeah. Devin Haney? Yeah. Not as much. But it's odd because Devin Haney is the face of 135. He has all the belts. But you walk down the street, Devin Haney? No. Gervonta Davis? Yeah. So, again,
why is that?
Boxing. People don't know boxing like they should. I know boxing because I'm in it every day and I see it. But to the average fan, they see the influence, the hype stuff. Devin Haney isn't a knockout artist. Devin Haney's a boxer. He will box you 12 rounds. Do you want to see that as a fan? No. You want to see Gervonta Davis put you to sleep. So that's what it comes down to. But I love boxing. I love to watch 12-round fights that go back and forth. I love to see that. Boxing is a lot like jazz. The better it is, the less appreciative it is. So. And me, I love Devin Haney, and I want to see those fights, and Shakur calling him out is awesome because he is mandatory. So I'm excited, dude. I'm so much big fights are taking place this year, and I'm just here for it. I love it. I'm glad I get to share about it with you guys, and as you can see, I get hyped talking about these fights, man. I'm just glad to be a fan of boxing and start to see boxing take on these big fights and these big risks because we love it. The fans love it. It's bringing more audience toward boxing. I think it's huge, Keep up the good work, boxing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anything you want to say?
None. Just tell your mom and your dad and everybody, sister, side dude, everything. Tell
everybody. We got to get you where, Gus?
Out the mud.
Out the mud.
Because if not, boy's tired. I noticed on the last video, this eye look a little close. Because that's the one that's surgery if anybody's wondering. So hurry up and get me out so my eye get better.
Yeah, it is.
So please subscribe.
If you guys like what you see, you like what you heard, you like the merch, you like hearing us talk back and forth about these fights, watching me get all hyped up, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think, Or, again, that was a big topic between Devin and Loma, right? Big controversy right there. Let me know your thoughts. You're so full of crap, Loma won or whatever. Let me know, and let me know why you think that, right? So
you don't know nothing.
Right, you don't know anything. Again, I just said I've been a big fan of Devin since back in the day. So of course that might play a role in it. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys. And time.